Hey everybody, welcome to another Blender tutorial. And this time I want to make something from a kids cartoon TV show actually, and it was a large part of my childhood. And it's a TV show, you can see right here the Tailspin from Disney. And regardless of the fact that it was a kids TV show, I think the world building was awesome behind the show. So I want to start with an airplane because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this whole scene in the single run. So maybe we'll need to split it in two parts. So let's see how far we can get, and yeah, let's get to it. Now first we need to set up some blueprints. I was able to find some blueprints on Google. I will link in the description so you can get them too. And let's just go to the front view by pressing 1, and let's add the image and reference. So this is the blueprint. It's very simple, but it will help tremendously to get the shape right. So let's position this. It's from the front, so I will move this by pressing G, and I want this part in the middle. And let's actually configure the image. So click here on the object data and click use alpha and bring it down a bit so you can see the grid behind. I think 0.5 will be okay. And also, I don't want to see this in perspective, so uncheck this, and let's select the front side to be visible. So when you go into perspective, there is nothing there, and if you look from behind, there's also nothing there. Okay, so this will be the front view, and we need some reference point. They'll be visible from every side of the airplane, and I think the bottom of the airplane will be fine. So let's move this down here, and this will be actually the pivot point for the airplane. Okay, let's disable this object and go to the side view, and let's add another. And I want to use this one in the middle, so we will need to rotate this 90 degrees minus. I just press R, 90 and minus, and move it up so it matches the bottom reference point from the front view. Like this. And also we'll need some reference point from this side so we can align the top and bottom view. So I think the engines might be a good candidate, and also in this part the bottom of the airplane is at its lowest. So let's move this on the y-axis and align the z-axis with the engine here. Okay, that'll be fine, and again we can use alpha, bring it down. Okay, so now we have front, side, and let's press 7 to go to the top view. Disable this, add another one, and right now we need to rotate this 180 degrees, so rotate that. Because yeah, this is the direction the airplane is facing, and I forgot to disable this in the perspective, so let's do that. Okay, let's get back to top view and move this on the x-axis so it aligns in the middle, and here I want to align two engines. Nice. Now we can continue if we want to have more of them, and I think the back view will be pretty useful. So we can go 1 and 9 to switch to the other side and add it once again. Now we just want to move it here in the middle and up. And of course we need to rotate this, so 180, sorry for that, and move it here. So let's align this on the middle. And on the Z. Okay, and again we can use some alpha, visibility front, and disable the perspective. Right now if I go 1, I can see it from the front. If I press 9, I can see it from the back. We have a top view, and we forgot the alpha there as well. Okay, and maybe we could do bottom side, but I don't think that's necessary, and if we are gonna need that, we can do it later. So let's get started with the modeling. Now, as I mentioned before, if you go to the side view by pressing 3, there's this tricky part, and I think the best approach would be to start with the cabin, because it's this part here defines, if you look from the front, it defines the shape for the whole body of the airplane. So I think that's the best place to start. So let's go to the top view here, and let's create the roof. So we can add the plane here, press tab to edit, scale it down, and I want to work in the mirror mode right from the start. So let's move this here, and let's add the mirror modifier like this, and we want to enable clipping. And if you enable clipping, the vertices will merge nicely in the middle. So if we now press GX, you can see it's merging perfectly in the middle, and drag this out a little bit. Okay, move this to the front, so we can have this corner as a reference point, and let's move this. Okay, and that'll be the basic shape for the roof. I think we have the picture behind is a little bit misaligned, so let's move it a little bit. Yeah, I think this is more in the middle. Okay, let's go back to the edit mode, and if we switch to the side and press period, you can see the plane is actually located down here. So GZ, I'm sorry, go to the wireframe mode and drag it up. Okay, and now the corner is located right here, as you can see, so this will need to go a little bit up, and we can do it right now. If you select this edge, you can drag this out. Now you have the shape of the roof. Okay, we need to extrude this a little bit down. So press E to extrude and Z, drag it down, maybe here, and go to the vertex edit by pressing 1. And move this on the y-axis here, and now move this vertex here. And if we look from the front, we will need a little bit of adjustment. So let's move this quickly here. And maybe we need to adjust this a little bit as well. Yeah. Now I'm dragging around the vertex because I know there's one behind him and I want to select them all to keep the this face straight and not distorted. So that's why I do it like this. Okay, let's check the other sides. And I think everything is looking good so far. There is a little misalignment here. Basically, the blueprint isn't that perfect, but it doesn't matter much right now as this is low poly, so let's continue with that. And we need to extrude the hood of the airplane, so let's press E and then Y and extrude it here, and you can drag this out. If you want to align these vertices perfectly, you can just select them, press scale, S, Y to axis on which you want to scale, and then press 0, and they will be aligned perfectly. Okay, now this will be going down a little bit, but let's not worry about that for a while. And I want to finish this all the way up here, so let's extrude that. E, then Y. I think we could use some, look from the top. Yeah, I think we could use another segment there. So let's put this a little bit here. And extrude once again. And this time we can move this all the way to the front and this to the side. And this will be the nice place to change the edge flow. So I like this. And if we go to the side view, we need to actually move this. And maybe we can use the proportional editing if you press O or click here. And then start grabbing. With mouse control you can control this fall off and actually move the vertices with the nice fall off and don't have to move them one by one. Okay, and we want to move these two as well. We can turn off proportional editing now. Can move them a little bit down. Maybe these two. And this one here. We need to check what that did with the overall shape. And I think it's still nice and straight, so all good. Let's continue. Okay, it's not visible here, but we would need some edge going on here, because if you look from the front, this is curved. So we need to make the edge somewhere here, where the door actually is a little bit curved. So we can continue by extruding this down. So let's select these vertices, and you can do it by clicking on the first and then holding Control and the last, and the algorithm will find the shortest way to connect all the other vertices. So let's press E and Z to extrude down, and I think we'll need to rotate this to define the shape better. And maybe this is a good place to go perfectly straight, so let's press S, Z and 0, and it will align perfectly. And we will need to move this by pressing the double G to edge slide. Okay, and maybe we can adjust this here a little bit. Okay. And maybe we will need a triangle here. We'll see. Now, if you look from the side, we need to drag this out quite a bit. Okay, and we can extrude even further, like this. And let's check this from the top view, because we need to be maintaining shape. So let's undo the last extrude and just move this here to match the shape. Okay, and now you see there's some distortion going on here with this face. So we'll need to maybe move this a little bit. Okay. Maybe we can adjust that in the end. Let's just define the overall edge flow. And I think I want to extrude this here. Yeah, okay. And we can continue with that. And we will need to end like this. Scale this on the Y to 0. Move it up a bit. Maybe align these two on the Y. And let's align this. Now we can maybe adjust these a little bit, but I think the flow is good so far, and this will need to go closer. Yeah, okay. Now the most important edge here is this one, and it should be the most visible one. So let's try to put a triangle here. What that will do, we extrude this down, connect. Yeah, it didn't look like much, but actually I knew this will be a little bit tricky here. Right, okay, let's just continue for now. Let's connect these here to close that. Let's check from the front, and we'll need to move this out, and this as well. Yeah. Not really, because that's only the red part of the airplane. Okay, and now we have defined the shape for this part here, and we need to close this up somehow. And I can see right away this is too far because yeah, we need it to go more like this, and this one can be much more closer here because it's like the top part, which is much more narrow than this one here. Well, it's not the nicest mesh in the world, but I think in this case, if you look, the faces are flowing this way, which is good, and it supports the shape. Yeah, not bad, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this, and we can always come back to it later and rebuild it if the render doesn't look nice this way. So let's go to the side view, and I want to finish this here. Okay, and actually this is the lowest point, the airplane, so we'll need to scale this here, maybe just move this down. Okay. Now if we look to the front, we need to make it wider as well. So okay, and let's extrude this all the way up until here, and I think there will be, the roof will need to be going down here a little bit, and we can't see it. Yeah, I think here it will be visible because this is like the place where the back door is split, and the roof comes all the way up until here. So yeah, okay, I think we can scale this down here a little bit. Let's do edge loop here. And move it up a little bit. And we'll need to scale it on the X a little bit as well. Okay, and now we need to extrude it a little bit more on the Y, up until here, where the door starts. Scale it on the X, and we'll need to do something with this here. Let's just extrude this until here. Then we can grab this. Now if we remove this face and let's try to press Ctrl-Alt-Shift-S to shear, just confirm, and we need to change the axis. Okay, and we can now move it a little bit here. It's here, connect these two, and maybe another triangle here. Okay, but I think now just extrude this one here. Connect this. Let's connect these two to make a door. And this kind of looks like another triangle, but I think we can fix it like this. Yeah, but that's distorted a lot. It's not a good shape for a quad, and the renderer will make triangles there anyway. So I don't know. Let's just try to close it like this. Yeah, I think that's better, much better. Okay, so that's the basic shape, and I really want to rebuild that front. I don't like how that flows, if you get me. So let's just try to get rid of this, maybe. Or rather this one here, and we need to close this up better. So we have this shape here we want to maintain. So I need to I forgot to switch off the perspective here. So we have this part here, this loop, that we need to maintain. We have this shape in the front we want to keep, and this flow. And here we want to connect this edge here. So basically the face loop that goes here must end up in this loop here. if that's clear. I hope it is. So it would need to go out more, like this. Okay, I think this is much better now when the diamond is here actually. Yeah, there's a much nicer flow here in the front. Okay, I can live with this. Right, so this is the body of the airplane. Let's look at the other stuff, like wings. And if we are actually going to connect them to the mesh or just pass them through, I don't know. Let's worry about that later. We can connect it when we need to. So right now I want to use an edge from here actually. Shift duplicate it and P for separation, enter, go out from the edit mode, click the new object and edit. Now this is useful mainly because we are maintaining the pivot point down here. We have still the mirror modifier on the duplicated object where we separate it. So if we extrude, you can see there's still mirror modifier going on. Okay, and let's actually find the place where the wing should start. And maybe this is not a bad place at all. Just move this vertex right here and extrude. Okay, let's look from the front. Yeah, basically the wing starts almost at the top, so if we move this a little bit down, that's a perfect place for a wing. Now we look from the side, you can see the wing has some specific shape where it's more curved on the top and a little less on the bottom. That's because of the aerodynamics. Every wing has a profile like this and I want to maintain that, so we can maybe use this one as a middle here, and then let's see, put this down to the top, extrude, make a cut in the middle, and now move these. And for the purposes of this, we can make them align and just grab these and put them up a little bit. Okay. This will be fine, I think. And we can continue like this. Just grab it all the way here, and we can make some segmentation, like for example here where the ailerons are, and one here. Actually there will be curve going on, so I think we will need some here as well. And now we can try maybe proportional editing. So grab this y-axis, move it, but we want to maintain this one here, and there's a nice little trick where you can just select the vertices, hide them, and they won't be affected with the proportional editing when they unhide them, when you unhide them. So grab this, make it the shape you want. Right. Okay, and now when you unhide, Alt-H, the original vertices are still on their position, and we got ourselves some wings. Okay, and this is not very good here, so maybe we can delete these faces. Now we can make a diamond shape here. Here. Okay. Now let's look from the front. And we will need to move this a little bit down because of the roof. Okay. Now let's do the engines, and if you go and look from the top, if we add the cylinder, I want the subdivisions to be just 8. So change this from 32 to 8, and now go to the edit mode, rotate on X, scale it down, and without exiting the edit mode, move it here so the pivot point stays in the middle. And we can add the mirror modifier again. Yeah. So we have 2 of them. Scale this down. All the way up here. Grab these. Okay. And now go to the side, move it all up. Now I want to stretch this all the way here, so we have a nice straight line there. So let's scale this, move it up. I think that'll be a nice shape, but if you look from the top, it actually goes more narrow towards the end. So let's scale it on the x-axis as well. So there's a elliptic shape here. Okay, I think that's really cool. we can actually go all the way back where the stabilization wings are, and I'm not sure how I will approach that yet, so we'll see. Let's just extend this, and here we can go much more narrow, like this, and a little bit to the side. Right. And we can maybe, yeah, we will need to cut this in half, I think. But before, once again, I want to scale this. Okay. Now just split this in half, and we want to extrude these. Yeah, that could work somehow. And we can move this one to the back. So we have a nice wing profile. We'll need to do this on both sides. Okay, and these here too. Okay. I think that'll do. So let's just play with the shape, and let's scale and move this a little bit, and maybe extrude this here. Okay, I think that's fine. And right now we need the wing in the back. We can use similar approach as before, and we can just do it as one shape. So, let's move this all the way here. Add a mirror modifier. Enable clipping. Okay, now extrude. Cut in the half in the middle with Control R. Move these here, these vertices here, and let's make the bottom a little bit thinner, so it's more of a wing. Okay, and now we can grab this out all the way here, or rather, just like before, we can go all the way and then just make make some adjustments. so we are able to do a loop there. So let's hide these. And with the proportional editing, move this on the y-axis. Like this. Unhide, and I think we will need to fix this here too. So let's just remove the faces. Yeah, we can maybe close this up the other way. Can just scale it on Y. Sorry. Can just scale it on X to be perfectly in line, and then just close it up with N-gon. Okay, and of course we will need to adjust this a little bit. Okay, that's nice wing, and we need to finish up the engines in the front and the floaters here underneath the airplane. So let's do the engines first and just extrude this a little bit and scale it up, but not turn off proportional editing. Scale this once again, extrude once again, scale. Yeah, this will be pretty easy because, you know, it's a cylindrical shape. Okay, if we look from the front, yeah, we can extrude this inside, inset, and scale it up. Okay. And then just make a room for a propeller. So maybe this can be wider a little bit. And move this all the way here. Slice it a few times. Enable proportional editing and scale it down like this. And we can maybe press Alt M and merge at the center. Okay, and now the propeller. Let's just create a plane, and we can click Align to View here, but don't forget to press Ctrl A and apply rotation. Scale it down. Here let's add the mirror modifier. Scale on the x-axis. Okay. And yeah, let's just split this up a little bit. Scale down here, scale down here. Yeah, and we'll need to rotate this a little bit, but we need to enable proportional editing. Press R and Z to rotate on the Z-axis like this, and just increase the proportional fall off, so it's a nice propeller there. And if we want to create the other as well, we can use spin modifier, or rather spin duplicates. So let's do that. Sorry. Yeah, it was. You need to have a 3D cursor ready in place. So let's click this first vertex, press Shift S to snap cursor to select it. So we have a cursor there, and right now we can select the propeller and spin this. Okay, and we need only 2 steps. Now we will need 360. Yeah, let's select 3 of them. Okay, so you just do 3 steps and 360 angle, and right there you have a perfect propeller, but there's one thing left actually, and that's to merge the vertices, because when we did a 360 angle there was actually one propeller that was put over the original one. So we need to select them all, press Alt M to merge vertices and by distance, and you can see there's a message here, removed 8 vertices, and it was these 8. So now it's okay. We can Shift C to reset the cursor in its original position, and we can actually move this a little bit here. And other thing that helps is to add the solidify modifier to this, but not that much. So let's do 0.005. Yeah, okay. Now the last thing are these this float gear. First of all, we'll just need to add I don't know, cube will be okay, so just scale it down, move it away, add new modifier again, and let's put it in place like here. Okay, scale these on the x-axis. Let's look from the side. Move it here, and we can shear this, I think. Okay, now move this down a bit. Okay, and we can split it in half like this, and then move these a little bit back by pressing double G. Okay, and here as well. Right, and there will be this cylinder here. So if we can add it as a part of this mirrored object, we can add it as another object, but while in the edit mode, and we'll just need 6 segments. Scale it down. Yeah, but something happened here. We need. No, it's okay. It's all okay. Move it up. Scale it while pressing Shift Z. And that'll scale it on the X and Y axis. So scale, Shift Z, scale it down. Okay, and can rotate this. Now, there might be one problem with it. Then when you want to adjust the length. If it was a object which was rotated like this, then it would maintain its local axis system, and you could scale it on the z-axis. But if you rotate it in the edit mode, you actually lose that. Here we can work around that by scaling it on Z much more than we actually need. Then rotate it. And now if you select these, you can double press G to scale them down. And if you want to press only, if you want to select only one of these objects, you press L and it will select the linked items. Let's move this here in the middle. Okay. And now let's just add these. I think we can start with the cube again. Yeah, just put it in place. And we will need to split this up. Yeah, this can be quite tricky too, but I want to keep this part simple, so let's just do it like this. Okay. This will need to come together. You can enable the proportional editing. Do it like that, but don't forget to select these and hide them so they are not affected. Okay. Okay, and we can now fix this by aligning them on the z-axis. Yeah, I think this looks fine. And basically the main shape of the airplane is ready, so we can now do some details like the window and door. I think actually there are some circular windows here. Yeah, let's have a look on the wireframe, and we'll need to split this up here. You can scale it on the Y to make it perfectly aligned. Okay. I think we can make some windows here, and the door should be here, but yeah, we can do them. We can separate this. Press P to separate. And inset this a little bit, only a little. Press Ctrl I to select inverse and delete the faces. So there's a nice gap there that will be always visible, but it's good to have a solidify modifier on the object, so you can't see then that it's not the solid shape. So it will create this nice crevice here. Okay, now we can, let's select both these objects. That's perfect feature in the new Blender 2.8, where you can select two objects and edit them in the edit mode at once. So let's select these two and press I to inset and make let's make windows. Like this, okay. And let's go back and do this separately. So extrude here and extrude here. Okay. Now we can like add a door handle, which can be very easy. You just select the edge, duplicate, separate, select new object, scale it down with G, and you can add the skin modifier here, but remove the solidify from the shape before. Select all the vertices, press Ctrl A, scale it down, and you have a nice door handle here. And maybe we can now move it a bit. Okay. I think that looks pretty neat. It's always nice to have some more details, especially on an airplane. So we can maybe try to cut this a little bit. Let's scale it on the Y. Okay. And yeah, we can bevel that actually, so press Ctrl B to bevel. And then you can just press Alt E to extrude, click faces along normals, and you can extrude it a little bit inwards. It will create these little crevices, which is really nice to have on the airplane. Let's go back a little bit and let's create one more here. So when we are doing these crevices, they are basically uniform. So let's select loops, Ctrl B to bevel, and now extrude along normals. Yeah. Okay, nice. And Maybe we can do some panel up here. So just grab this, Shift D to duplicate, enter, P to separate, enter, tab out, select again, and press GG. And we can extrude these and have like a little panel up there or something like that. And of course here on the wings you want to have some crevices visible as well, especially where the aileron parts are. And yeah, you can always like separate it. That could be fine. Maybe let's try to do that. So separate this and we can hide it. But we will need to close this shape up. So let's put a triangle here, triangle there, and close this up. And now if we unhide, you can scale it down a little bit so it barely fits, and move it out a little bit. And of course it'll be good to close this too, so let's do that. Okay, and let's do the same thing here, where we can like separate these. Okay. Now you can modify them too. Nice. So it's actually more of an airplane model, so to speak. And we can do the same thing here. We'll need to slice this up. Sorry. Down here as well. Make a cut here. We'll need to select these, scale them on Y, and move it here. Okay, and maybe we want to make these closer together. Okay. And we can, of course, align these on the... Yep, I want the other side too, so let's go to the side view, wireframe, and align these on the Z-axis. Okay. Now just select them, separate, you can hide it, and yeah, close this up somehow. We really don't have to care about these end guns here, because it will be like hidden all the time, so no worries there. Just close it up. And here as well. The same thing. Okay, this is starting to look like an airplane already. We can maybe do some bevel here as well. And maybe we can now do these circular windows, but I don't want to cut in the low poly shape, so I will do them just as an I would say decoration objects. So let's add a new cylinder. We can give it like 12 segments, scale it down. Yeah, and let's just do this. And if you enable snap and click the face, rotation and project into elements, and you can grab it and move it along. Scale it a little bit. Yeah, and duplicate here. Okay. Now if we set origin to the 3D cursor, yeah, it messed with the original one, so let's delete that and just add modifier mirror. And we want to turn off snap and apply the rotation. Okay, and now just go into the edit mode and duplicate the mesh, move on the Y. Yeah, we have windows. Okay, what did we miss? Okay, I think there will be some cut needed here, because when we color the wings, there's actually yeah, there is a red stripe here. So let's try to do that. But I don't like how the edge flow goes. It's because these triangles here, or these diamond shapes. So let's delete this and close it up like the other one. So let's scale them on X and close it up, and maybe adjust the shape a little bit. It's not maybe completely perfect, but I think it'll be much better. Now I want to delete this and close it up too. So when I actually split this, I split only the top. Okay, it's perfect. And you can maybe drag it a little bit out to make it more round. And one thing I forgot, yeah, there are lights in the front. These things here, when you go to the front, you can see them here. So let's do that. Let's add a cylinder. Yeah, 6 will be fine, I think. Scale it down. Rotate on the X 90 degrees. Go to the side, right up here. You can add a mirror modifier here as well. Okay. And now just make a light out of it. So inset, extrude a little bit inwards, and you can inset and move it a little bit out, so there is a slight curvature there. Then we can extrude this. Maybe turn on proportional editing. Scale this down. And we can maybe select this face here, inset it, scale on the Y, but turn off the proportional editing, and extrude something out of it, so we don't need to deal with the cylinder or anything like that. Okay, I think the model is ready. Maybe, oh no, sorry, it's not. I want to modify a back a bit more, and I just want to show that there are doors here, so let's just inset this like this. But when you do it in the edit mode, there will be extra faces here, so you can just select them, delete, and then when you select this loop and drag it on the X, it'll close nicely. And now I want to just push this inward a little bit. Yeah, but the solidify modifier is doing all sorts of crazy things, so we can modify the thickness to 0.001 and it'll go away. And I want to do that here as well. We don't need that much of a solidify there. Okay, I think the airplane is ready. Now, I won't be able to make the rest of the scene in time, so instead of that, I decided to finish only the render of the airplane, and for that I will use other environment that I did last year, I think, and I can show you. It's this scene with the pier and the rocks and some Caribbean bar or something like that. So I will use the airplane in this context, make a render out of it, so you can see how I light it, how I do the render settings, and then I will come back to it sometime and finish the rest of the scene and use the airplane. So let's just fit the airplane into the scene here, and if I enable it, I can see right away it's too small. So let's disable the editing on the environment and select only the airplane, make it larger. And of course I want to parent all the objects on the airplane on the body here, so Ctrl P and parent to object with keep transform. So when I control the airplane I can only select one object. And let's scale this up so the size actually makes sense. It'll be a little bit harder in this scene. Maybe I'll have to remove something like the rocks in the background or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, I think this won't make much sense here. So let's remove them. For now I can just hide them in the render, and we will need to lower this. Okay, I think this will do for this parking here. And let's add the isocam. Okay, and I'll need to disable these images. Okay, let's modify the camera, or rather let's modify the output. This, okay. I will add another plane to make a background. This is okay, and maybe we can scale this down a bit. It doesn't have to be too realistic. It's cartoon after all. Now if I go to the look dev, you can see I already have materials for the scene set up. So we'll only need to texture the airplane. So let's start with that. Okay, let's select the airplane and go to the materials here, create a new material. Let's call it yellow, and actually it's like this dirty yellow, almost orange color. Okay, and let's leave everything like this, and we can just assign the yellow material to every object. Okay, now we can create a new material. Let's call it red. And we will need to make the selection here. Let's isolate the airplane. This. I press the slash on the numpad. And let's assign the red. Actually give it a red color. Yeah, I like this shade. Okay, and we'll need some material for the window. Let's just call it window. And we can do it like bluish and bring down the roughness. I think the darker will be fine, so let's make it like a dark blue color. Okay. Now we can add lights here. So let's add a light material, switch it from principled to the emission. Press assign, get like a yellow color too, a little bit. And we can ramp up to 10 emission maybe. Here we can assign the window material too. And for the doors as well. Okay, and I think the engines here are kind of brown or something like that. So we can, and what I did here was just select the loop and pressing Ctrl+ on the numpad, and that will expand your selection further. So that's very good for selecting the parts of a cylinder, for example. And let's give it this brown color. Yeah, something like this. Okay. And I will select this again, only up until here, and give it a red color. Okay, and I want to select this part here and give it a red color as well. Okay, and now the propellers, we want to create a new brown color. And make it a bit lighter, like this. And we want to color this part as well with the red color. Yeah, but all the way. Great. Now we can additionally give color to this part as well. Yeah, and that's it for the materials basically. I won't do anything else with that. So this is the basic scene, and now I will try to give it some lights and make some nice render out of it. So let's finish this up. And now my favorite part, let's give it some lights. I've played around a little bit with the environment textures here to see what type of mood maybe I like the best. But let's switch to the cycles right away here in the render settings, and I'll select GPU. If I go to the render mode, you can select only the camera with Ctrl B, so the rest isn't rendered, and you get a little better performance on the previews. And let's add some area light. I will move it up here, and if you're in the look dev mode, here you can set the lighting to scene lights and scene world, and it doesn't give you like a preview of how the global illumination will work in cycles, but it will give you preview of shadows and how actually the polygons are lighted. So that's good. And switch here to the 3D cursor. And right now we can, when you press R, you can actually rotate around the cursor. So that's useful. And we can rotate 45 degrees on the x-axis here, but I will press minus to make it negative, and then 45 on z. And right now we have opposite lighting to the camera, and when you press R and double X, you can actually tilt it how you want. And I want to make this like a sunset scene maybe, and I want the sun to be setting right there in front of us. So let's make it like this, and we'll give it, I don't know, an orange color. Let's go to the render view. We'll need to ramp this up, so go to the, I don't know, 1500 or so, and maybe modify the angle some more. Okay, and the color is, I think, too much red. Okay, and let's see this material here. I didn't create it right now, but it's kind of a mixed shader, so I want to remove that, and I want to do this as a principled with the transmission almost all the way up with some bluish color like this. Okay, and I want the roughness almost completely down. Okay, I think I like this. And we'll need some more lighting here, so let's add another camera light, or rather we can use the position of this and it will be easier. Just select this first area and shift D to duplicate it, and right now we can rotate it on the Z axis. And let's make it larger so it doesn't throw sharp shadows. Let's bring it down a little bit. And let's give it like 700 and adjust the color. You can maybe give it a little bit of blue shade, so that we're like telling that the sun is setting here and the rest of the world is going a little bit darker around. So you can play with it like this. And I want to make this really sharp light, so it's like really small setting sun. And maybe duplicate this and let's do some fill light here. Well, the lighting is every time based on a lot of a lot of experimentation, and maybe if you will see the final result in the thumbnail of the video, it will be much more different than this, because most of the time I go back to it and adjust some things. I look at it a lot when I have it finished, and almost always there is something I want to change which is not recorded in the video. So sorry for that. I'll try to get as close as I can. Maybe we can add a material to the backdrop here, make it a little bit darker. And one other thing, when you have approximate lighting set up, you can always play with the ambience of the scene by adjusting the world lighting, because right now it's like just this dark gray color. If you go all the way down, you turn off the world lighting completely, so you can see right away that the shadows have gone darker. And if you go up, you can like increase the lighting of the world and make a really bright day scene. And I always like to go somewhere in the middle with this, but you can also color this light and create some nice ambience. And recently I really like going this marine color on the world, and then play with the brightness. So it's not that strong, but it feels the shadows with like with the blue tone, and I really like the aesthetics of that. Yeah, so basically this is it, and from now on it's just adjusting the lighting, playing with the colors, with the strength of the lights. Maybe you can play with the color management here, bring out the exposure some more, play with the contrast. I always like to go at least medium high contrast or something like that, and right away you can see the scene looks much better. So okay, I think this is it, and this is our sea duck airplane scene. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell button if you want to get notified when I release something new, and have a wonderful day.